Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Real Sports Updates. Back again with another video. So, you see the title, you see the thumbnail. Let's get into it a little bit. So, the Chargers defense has been the talk of camp. Now, it's only been a week in, obviously no preseason games yet, but the Chargers defense has been the talk of camp because they really have been flashing, right? And I think from the standpoint of not necessarily really like shutting the offense down, but they have really been excelling as far as the different position groups go. I know if you go and you watch a lot of the stuff that the Chargers post on their social medias, they're competing right from the front to back, and I think this is a very very good sign. The offense last year was ahead of the defense, and this was with everybody on brand new footing, right? You have a new offensive system, you have a new defensive system. The offense came out and they were ahead of the defense for much of training camp, and that ended up, playing itself out in the regular season, right? The offense was much, much better than the defense, and obviously that was a problem. The Chargers were still a good team in 2021, but it was an issue. Defense was really an issue, and it was deeper. If you really, do a deep dive, it was much deeper than just the rushing yards, the rushing touchdowns that the Chargers were giving up. It was much deeper than that. And that's kind of what I wanted to go over a little bit here, because the defense being ahead of the offense in the first week, this is a great sign if you're a Charger fan. This means that the Charger defense is going to be much, much, much improved from last year. And, when you think about it, just in theory, right? The Chargers finished 2021 9-8, right? They were, a field goal away from getting to the playoffs, right? If they end up tying the Raiders and they get to the playoffs. And then, who knows what happens in the playoffs. And this was with the 29th ranked defense last season in points per game. It was the 23rd ranked defense in giving up total yards, 20th in sacks, right? So the Chargers did not rush the passer very well last year, and 17th in takeaways. So the Chargers really didn't take the ball away as much as they should have either. So the Chargers finished 9-8, and literally seconds away from a playoff berth with this bad defense. So the defense showing the signs of improvement that it has been in the first week of the season is, man, it really does something to my soul as a Charger fan. This is great, welcome news. Very, very welcome news. I this is what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear the defense, really besting the offense, at least for the first couple of weeks, because the offense is going to be good. The offense is going to recover. They will recover, and, they will end up, running on all cylinders pretty much like they did last year. It's just a matter of time. They just have to get their footing. There is a few new offensive pieces as far as offensive line goes. Gerald Everett, the new tight end, new starting tight end. So, it might take a little time to get there, but the defense being ahead of the offense is a very, very welcome sign. If you're a Charger fan, you should definitely be excited, because this means that the Chargers are going to be playing complementary football. So it's no longer just going to be the Justin Herbert show. And as much as I like it, as much as I love watching Herbert, throw those darts across the field and all that stuff, it's great for, entertainment. It's great for watching the game. But as far as the team aspect in the NFL, you got to play complementary football. And again, the Chargers don't have to be the best defense in the league. Now, it's possible that they can be. Can they go from worst to first? They absolutely can. Just based off of the moves that they made in the offseason, and how they really prioritize defense, they can definitely go from worst to first. But it really doesn't matter if they do or not, really. All they need to do is just be improved from last year, and I think that they will. And again, if you're a Charger fan, be excited about this. Be very, very, very excited about this. The one thing, well, actually a couple of things that I wanted to point out regarding the defensive play is the bookend at defensive line and secondary. Now, those two positions last year were an issue, obviously, stopping the run. And even in the secondary, when it came to depth, right? When somebody was out, Michael Davis was out with the hamstring, Asante Samuel Jr. out with a concussion. He was out with the concussion several times last year. The Chargers they really did not have a player or players to step up and play replacement level football, right? Now that just means you are playing at a replacement level, right? You don't need to star, you don't need to shut anybody down, but play replacement level football, meaning doing your job, right? And doing your job at a high enough level to where team success doesn't really drop off that much. Now, that's one thing that the Chargers struggled with last year. They did not do that very well. But I think coming into this season, when you watch the videos, when you watch the press conferences, if you are keeping up with the beat reporters and you're reading their camp reports from day to day, the one thing that you can say that is going to change is the bookends. So defensive line is going to be doing their job. They're much improved. But the secondary, I think they are a little bit more improved than the defensive line. I would say the secondary is probably the most improved section of the team coming into this season. Guys are really competing. This is all without Derwin James, too. Derwin James is sitting out because he's getting his contract negotiated. Should be done soon from everything that I'm hearing. The DBs are really, I think they're really, really going to show how good they can be. I did the video on Mark Webb the other day. He's really been balling. He's been putting in work. But I've been hearing a lot about the rookies, too. I've been hearing a lot about Jasir Taylor. I've been hearing a lot about Dean Leonard. These guys are competing, right? J.C. Jackson is there. He's a guy. He's been one of the best corners in the league, for the past 3 or 4 years now. He's there. He's coaching these guys up. Brandon Staley's coaching these guys up. They are going to go out and they are really going to play very, very well. And I think, coming into this season in the AFC West, right, with all the talent, this was much needed, right? This is not like a luxury thing that the Chargers just had. This is needed to win the division because you're going to be going up against some talented offenses. Now, defensive line play is going to be so crucial, but I think from the standpoint of those guys really have to focus on stopping the run. I think if you can leave all of the 2021 defensive statistics, if you can leave all of them the same, you can only change one. Rushing yards was the one thing that killed the Chargers all season long, right? And obviously we know that, that we've beat this dead horse several times. But the one stat that really stood out to me from last year, 7 games of 170 plus rushing yards. That's not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done. And it's obvious, it's amazing that the Chargers ended up finishing with a winning record last year with that. 7 games of 170 plus yards, that is crazy. And then, teams average about 140 yards per game against the Chargers. This is teams who didn't run the ball well either. Like, the Texans got off against the Chargers. Like, there were teams who weren't that great at running the ball who really, were able to do whatever they wanted to do on the ground against the Chargers. So I think that's the one thing, if you had to leave everything the same and you can only change one thing, I think that was the one thing that you had to focus on was shoring up that run game. Because if the Chargers don't give all that up, if you leave all that the same, they give up points, they give up yards, they don't get that many sacks, but they stop the run, they're in the playoffs. And they possibly win a playoff game, right? And they possibly win another, and they might end up in the AFC Championship game. So you never know. Especially once the game slows down in the playoffs, things are not as easy to come by in the playoffs. You never know. You really never know. So I think that was one of the main focuses as far as the defensive line goes. Now, I think the defensive line is going to ball out. I think Khalil Mack is going to get to the quarterback. I think Joey Bosa is going to get to the quarterback. And I think these guys are going to get sacks. And I think just having all of these positions on defense, having all of the talent that you possibly can, I think the defense is going to flow better. Remember, Brandon Staley is a Vic Fangio guy. He pretty much cut his teeth coaching under Vic Fangio. So this is a Vic Fangio defense. If you're a football person, Vic Fangio defense is ball out all the time. Vic Fangio defense is ball out. It doesn't matter how good the offense is on the other side. Whatever they got going on the other side doesn't matter. Vic Fangio defense is ball out. And this is the same scheme that Vic Fangio ran. So I am excited to see what the Chargers do up front. I think that is going to completely dictate how the season goes on the defensive side of the ball, is how physical and how aggressive they are up front. If they're stopping the run, I think they'll be fine. The sacks are good, right? And, forced fumbles and all that stuff come from that. I of course, I would like to have that. But if the Chargers are physical and they're stopping the run, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They're going to be in the playoffs. They'll win a playoff game, at least one playoff game, at least. And possibly AFC Championship. That's the one thing that they focused on and they prioritized on, and they are really showing it now. So now it's up to the offense. The offense has to come along. The offense has to gain their footing. They have to get on the same page. And, I don't even think that they have been bad. I just think the defense has really came out and showed that this is a very, very good team. We're going to be physical. We're going to be aggressive. And we're not that 2021 Chargers defense, because this defense, the Chargers defense in practice, they're going up against a top 5 Charger offense every single day. And that's the one thing you have to remember. This Charger offense was top 5. Justin Herbert, top 3 in quarterback stats last year. This is the top 5 offense. So the Chargers can gain a lot of yards. They can score a lot of points. So this defense coming out and showing that they are able to stop that, they're able to stifle some of that, it's a very good sign, because there wasn't a lot of defenses last year that were able to stifle the Chargers. Even some of the good ones, they weren't able to completely stifle the Chargers. And that's kind of what this Chargers defense is doing now in training camp. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. Very excited to see how this turns out. We're 10 days out from like the first preseason game. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this looks like on the field. I know the looks and all that stuff are going to be vanilla for the preseason games, but I want to see who pops, and I want to see who is comfortable in their role. And I think that's you can see a lot of that in the preseason. Sometime you can see who's comfortable playing their role, and obviously you're playing against other bubble guys on the other team as well that are may or may not make the team, but I want to see who's comfortable in their role. I want to see who's comfortable in this defense. I want to see the rookies in particular. I want to see how comfortable they are. Because if they do come out and they are able to show that, hey, they can keep up on the NFL field, right? They are not too far behind. They're right on pace where they need to be. Then I think this can be a very, very special defense. Because if the rookie DBs are balling and they're playing the way that they are supposed to be playing, pretty much all the DBs in general, that's going to free up Brandon Staley to do a lot up front. They can bring a lot of blitzes. They can do a lot of zone blitzing stuff. They can do there's so much. The sky really is the limit when it comes to this scheme. If you have your defensive backfield solid, everybody solid back there, everybody knowing what they are doing, everybody knowing that they need to communicate in order to get to where they need to go. If they got guys back there that are able to do that, this defense is going to be scary, and the rest of the league should watch out. But this is a welcome sign. If you are a Charger fan, very, very welcome sign. And I love it. I hope the defense keeps it up. I hope this is the theme of camp. I hope Charger defense is the theme the entire camp, the entire preseason. That's what I want to see. That's what a lot of Charger fans want to see. And, hopefully it will, parlay itself into success in the regular season. But that's what I'm going to be looking for. That's what I was looking for when camp started. And it hasn't taken very, very long for the defense to come out and show itself to be very, very good at this point right now. And, the scary thing is they're only going to get better. They're only going to continue to get reps together, be better, as far as communication goes and stuff like that. So these guys are going to get better. And then you add, Kenneth Murray when he comes back, add him to this lineup. They're going to be scary. They're going to be scary if this continues. So I'm very, very, very excited. If you're a Charger fan, be very excited. But yeah, man, that's all I got for this video. I will be dropping more content tomorrow. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. I will be covering a lot of Charger stuff throughout training camp and the regular season, obviously. And please don't forget to like this video on your way out as well, too. Thank you guys so much for all the support, all the comments, all the engagement. Really, 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 really helps me out. And just please continue to keep it up, and I will continue to keep dropping more content. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And until next time.